City Council meeting, City of Mayflower, March 28th, 2023, 7 p.m. Thank you all for being here. Would you please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ronnie Williams. Jennifer Massey. Mark Hickman.
Here.
Zach Jeffrey. Here. Jack Paul.
Here.
Kyle Mark.
Here. Thank you. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the regular city council meeting, February the 28th, 2023.
Motion to approve the minutes from the February 28th meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mark was second. Are there any questions, discussion, discussion, or corrections needed for the approval of the minutes? None?
Not that I know of.
Do we need a voice vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Next on the agenda is the financial statement dated February 2023. Do I have a motion to accept that?
Make a motion. Second.
Barbara, will you call the roll, please? Or before that, are there any questions? Are there any discussions on this or comments before we vote? No? Barbara, will you call the roll, please?
Jennifer Massey. Yes. Mark Hickman.
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey.
Yes.
Jack Paul.
Yes.
Kyle Mark.
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda under general, we have ordinance 2023-02 under fire codes. Do we need to, is there any discussion on this?
I've got a few questions. Do we need to state a motion?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do we have the motion before, or do we have the discussions before, and then we have a motion?
Well, the first question is, do you want to put it on for, do you want to waive the readings, waive the 3 readings? We can do that. Then the second vote would be to put it on for discussion.
Okay, so the first one would be, does anyone desire to suspend the rules concerning the reading of the proposed ordinance?
I'll make a motion that we move to suspend the rules, waive the second and third reading of the ordinance, and read the entire ordinance by title only, and vote on it after its initial reading.
That was Zach.
I'll second.
Thank you. Would you restate the motion?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules, waive the second and third reading of ordinance 2023-02, read the ordinance by title only, and vote on ordinance 2023-02 after its initial reading.
Thank you. Would you call the roll, please? To suspend the rules.
Jennifer Massey. Yes. Mark Hickman.
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey.
Yes.
Jack Paul.
Yes.
Kyle Mark.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, is it appropriate
Yeah, now
to?
we'll read it and
do
then
we
we'll
have-
discuss it as
okay.
much as needed. Okay. Ordinance number 2023-02, ordinance adopting current fire code requirements as adopted by the state of Arkansas with amendments to be automatically adopted unless otherwise modified, declaring an emergency for other purposes.
Thank you. Now, are there any questions, discussions, or corrections? Zach, you had mentioned.
I was just, and I didn't get to get with Ashton, this weekend on it, or yesterday.
Sorry.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, we're just wanting to make a blanket ordinance that allows automatic changes of fire codes as they become updated from
The state.
the state.
So state fire code's supposed to be adopted regularly. It gives us enforcement powers as far as fire inspections go, building inspections on some new construction, just making sure we're following state fire code, allows us to go inspect, gives us authority to make adjustments if anything happens.
Are we currently out of code that we haven't voted to amend any of the codes on the book? Or
Ms. Barbara, you might be able to answer that. Has the city ever adopted state fire code?
I'm gonna say yes, but I cannot tell you the year.
Okay, because we've looked and we haven't been able to locate anything. No, so that's why we're trying to get this brought up now, that the fire department's in proper operating as far as fire inspections goes.
Chief, with the adoption of this ordinance,
Mhm.
does this get us up current?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then going forward, how often do we
So
have
every,
to?
whenever there's changes, I believe there was 2012, I believe 2021 is the new one, the new state fire code is. So we're adopting, 2012, 2021, so we're staying current.
But we will be
Yes, sir.
current as of this vote,
Yes,
if
sir.
everyone goes this way.
We're supposed to do fire inspections of every commercial occupancy once a year. The schools have to get done 3 to 4 times a year. The daycares are at least twice a year. So, I mean, there's a lot of responsibility with that. So we need
Does this mandate us that we have to do those things now within this ordinance to be in a compliance?
Yes.
And if not,
I mean, even for our ISO evaluation, we have to do inspections every year. So it's important for the fire department and our rating to inspections. I mean,
what are the consequences if we don't get to this? You had mentioned
our
that there was
ISO could
roughly,
drop.
excuse me, but you had mentioned there's roughly 70 some odd businesses we hear?
Miss
we have
Barbara,
here?
I believe 78, I believe.
But in a general sense, and hopefully,
More
with
to
the
come.
overpass, in the near future, we're gonna have more. So again, if we adopt this, and which I think we should, but,
Yeah.
but we wanna be clear.
Yep.
What is the negative consequence to us if we don't adhere to all of this?
Let's say, just use Sonic, for example. They probably haven't been inspected in a couple of years. I believe a lot of the inspections were 2015, 2016, from what I've found have been inspected. If something happens in there, they're gonna ask, when was the last fire inspection? Well, we haven't had one in a few years. Well, we had, extension cord, plugged in an extension cord, plugged in a circuit breaker. I mean, there's all types of fire code violations. I mean, we have to look at the schools, check the classrooms, check the fire panels. There's just a lot that goes with these inspections.
You have a plan and manpower in place to complete these inspections?
We're gonna talk about it at the next workshop, hopefully. We have something we wanna do, but it's gonna take the city council getting on board.
The only thing is, from my understanding of this, it appears to me that everything the fire chief is doing is kind of slowly but surely taking us toward that ISO, and you'll hear that a whole lot more.
Mhm.
I dealt with that for 11 years, but your ISO rating is your fire rating within the city limits or within the city fire district. And at town class 10 is real bad. You have really high insurance
Horrible.
rates. If you have a town class 1 like Little Rock, that means your response times, your manpower, your water supply, how quick you respond, your 911 service, your inspections, and there's a whole big old book that goes into all this, and I think that's what you're working
Yes,
toward, am I
sir.
wrong?
Yes, sir.
So, this is something we need to do, and it's just the state fire codes, and it's what the state adopts, we're just
Yep,
adopting.
we're just
them
adopting what
and
the
go
state
from
has adopted.
And that's what I was gonna clarify, because it says, adopt, unless modified, you haven't read the title, but unless modified, deferring, and all that. So this is right in line, directly in line with the state fire code.
Yes, sir.
Nothing more,
All the
nothing
other
less.
departments in the state are doing this.
Gotcha. Not adding anything
It's
more or
just,
less than the
it's,
state.
it's just us adopting and say we wanna, make adjustments. Say we add a Knox box ordinance for fire code, that just falls in line. It's just getting us current, it's gonna cover us, especially when we start doing these inspections with some of these businesses that haven't been inspected or have never been inspected. We have here
You've got
state fire
the
code,
team to
yes,
do it.
yes.
So the state doesn't say you have to do this, but if you do this, that helps our ISO rating? Or does the state say?
Every commercial occupancy is supposed to be inspected every year.
So technically, we're
Yes.
supposed to be doing it
I have to do the schools, I have to do the daycares. I mean, this is,
Because that's where I got confused.
Yeah.
Because if we're supposed to be doing it anyway,
it's just, that we're adopting it now.
then this is just saying, hey.
We have record that it has been adopted.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Yes.
You do it, not code enforcement?
Fire department handles all of the fire inspections. That falls under us. The fire marshal title, I'll bring this up when we have our workshop. There's something I'd like to propose to y'all, so.
It's all for safety.
Mhm.
For instance, they come in my office and inspect mine every year. They look at my fire extinguisher, make sure it's within date, things like that. Because if you don't, and something was to happen,
It's a liability on the
and
fire
some
department.
child was to die, God forbid, and then they go back and look, then I'm in trouble, they're in trouble, everybody's in trouble, because at least they've got a, you know, they'll write you up and you can be fined for not being compliant.
Yep.
So,
That's what I thought it was. I move we adopt ordinance 2023-02.
I second.
We have a motion and second.
Do we have teeth to find people?
They do.
We're working on that currently. We're developing a plan as far as this goes.
I mean, not that I wanna go out and find people, but at least warn them.
No, I mean, and we're not gonna come out, you know,
Right.
They give you
Well,
chance after chance
chance.
to be compliant,
Yeah.
but if you just refuse, yes,
and
they.
everybody we ever talk to, the daycares, schools, hey, this needs to be fixed. Okay, you go back in 30 days, it's fixed. I mean,
And the proposal for going forward will be discussed at our council workshop in detail.
yes,
We're just going to hold off on until we get to that.
yes.
But that will support what we're talking about now.
Say that again.
We're going to be discussing his plan going forward
Okay, yeah,
at the council workshop,
okay,
you know, in 2 weeks.
okay.
Any other discussion or questions?
Good.
Okay. We've already had a roll call.
We got a call.
Yes, please call the roll.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 2023-02. Jennifer Massey,
Yes.
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Paul,
Yes.
Kyle Martin.
Yes.
Now, in terms of the emergency clause,
Yes, sir.
it has to be voted on separately, is that correct?
Yes.
Need a motion and second for the.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion, we accept the emergency clause of,
Ordinance,
ordinance 2023-02.
have a second?
I'll second.
JP? Restate the motion, please.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the emergency clause of ordinance 2023-02.
Again, any discussion, any questions, any concerns? Please call the roll for the emergency clause. Thank you.
Jennifer Massey,
Yes.
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Paul,
Yes.
Kyle Martin.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Hey,
Was there-
Danny, could I
Yes.
announce about our grant while I'm up here?
Yes,
Okay. We were awarded $196,241 through the Assistance Firefighters Grant through FEMA. We were awarded on 3/15. It's all going towards equipment. We've had to send them in a list of equipment we wanted. They approved it. They knocked some things off, but we got awarded that $196,000.
Good job. Good job.
one of
Thank
the things I wanted to point out, Chief has done an excellent job, as well as the Assistant Chief. You have, being the leader, you have put together, assembled a great team that you have over there. This isn't the first time that he's received a grant. Let's face it, $190-some-odd thousand. The list is comprehensive. You just don't ask for this and they turn around. So and also, I wanted to make sure, I asked Chief, well, since we got this $190-some-odd thousand, can we spend it anywhere? No. That was
We-
predetermined
yeah.
with that list.
Yes, we have a
that he handed
detailed
in
list of everything.
with the application. So there was a lot of work
Yeah.
that
We-
went into that.
Great work, Chief, along with the Firehouse Subs grant.
We got awarded, yes, sir.
Right. And that's what I was going to say.
We were on the list a little over, we were actually the last round 21 of the AFG grant that was awarded. We were in the last group to get awarded. We have applied for the AFG grant for fiscal year '22. We should know something hopefully by the end of the year. We put in for a new fire truck, for
Now,
a
is
tanker
that,
pumper.
would that fund the new fire truck you
Yes,
were
sir.
talking about?
Yes, sir.
No, but that is not a matching grant also.
We only have to, so it'd be roughly 20% if we were awarded, or 10%, 15% if we were awarded the truck grant.
And what's the maximum on that?
20,000. That would
For-
be, because the
truck?
truck is $796,000.
That's what I was gonna say. Our portion would be roughly the 20,000.
Yes, sir.
But the truck is some price somewhere under, just under 800,000, which would be a huge.
It's we expect a tandem axle Pierce pumper tanker. We have some areas that aren't well hydranted, so this truck's gonna fill our needs, and it's new. It'll help our fleet tremendously, especially as it's aging and our call volume's going up.
Wow.
So,
Just
We're-
curious,
we're-
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, no, go ahead.
Just curious,
Yes,
what all
sir.
do you run that ladder truck on? What all kind of calls?
So we're gonna run it on structure fire responses, run it on motor vehicle accidents. Part of that grant was another set of hydraulic extrication tools, that we just got. We got the first set from Firehouse, we just got this set. It's gonna have a complete set. It has 700 gallons of water on board, so it has complete firefighting capabilities. And it's only 3 to 4 feet longer than our pumper, so we can get it in the same places we can get our engine.
My only concern is that's a lot of wear and tear for a ladder truck to be running a medical call.
Yep.
That's just me.
That's why we
Um,
That's why we have the squad. So a lot of our guys will use the smaller trucks to go run medical calls.
And now, one of the things that also should be pointed out, Mark, you make a good point. Chief has even talked to me about that at some point, he's going to back off of this, but with any kind of piece of equipment, for safety goes, and just knowing the piece of equipment, you have to use it
Yep.
Initially.
I mean, this
And
is
that's what he was talking about. But that's a great point. But he had already talked to me about that he wanted to, he and his team has to get familiar with that piece of equipment so that when they really need it, they know what to do with it. But he did say that, after this short period of break-in time, that they
breaking
would
it
back
in.
off.
It's the plan.
Yeah.
So we are going to have a push-in ceremony, hopefully within the first couple of weeks of April.
State the new name. Has everybody heard?
Miss Linda. It was chosen by the community, and I'm waiting. I'm gonna have a sticker made from Sign Zone, have it put across the front windshield that says Miss Linda.
We're going to
So-
schedule a celebration, so to speak, in the near future
Yeah.
for that.
Good deal.
So.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Yes, yes. Good job, good job. The next item under general is the HVAC system, City Center. Chief Hunter, did you want to?
I'll answer questions about it. We've been having problems with air conditioner ever since the building was built. We finally got the contractor to come in here, or a contractor that we have the HVAC contract with. And they found one of the condensers in here has a pretty bad leak in it. That's why they've been having to refill it with Freon on a pretty regular basis. The length of time it's taken them to find this problem, they weren't the original contractor. They're the ones that we signed the contract with to do maintenance on the building. They found it, they said, this is the problem, it's not warranted. So the leak is in the courtroom, judge's office area there. I have reached out to Judge Clausen to see if it might be possible for the court to help us with this. He's checking into that. He doesn't know if they have funds available for maintenance like that, but he's gonna see if he can help us with it. We have been given a bid on it. I don't have the bid with me. It's a little over $6,000 to get this thing fixed.
We're hoping that, I asked the chief if he would reach out to the judge. He's got an incentive to help us because it's over his desk. And so we're hoping that that's going to help with the, offset the cost. But
We just
seriously,
we haven't pulled the trigger, we haven't told them to fix this because of the dollar amount, we needed to bring it back in front of y'all and see what you wanted to do.
and it was just convenient that still everything's out of warranty.
Right on schedule.
Mark,
What's our
did I interrupt you? Were you gonna say?
No, I probably shouldn't.
What's our ongoing maintenance cost for?
I have not compiled the numbers on the maintenance cost. I think our annual contract with this company is, $2,000-something a year for their maintenance. They come in and service everything, change all the air filters and do all that. I don't know, I haven't gone back and looked and seen how much we have spent on this, but it's entirely more than it should have been to begin with. I feel comfortably sure in saying that since the inception of the building, that we've spent that much or more on repairs to what we already have.
So you're talking about replacing it, not repairing it?
They said it can't be repaired because of the size of it and where it's at, that it will have to be replaced.
Did they give us any?
Everything would be back under coverage,
I'm sorry?
we'll be under coverage again.
Whatever warranty would come with that device, yes.
Chief, did they indicate if we go forward, do they have a unit that, or are we looking at a long lead time or no, don't know?
I have not asked that question because I didn't know when I was gonna be able to
Yeah.
tell them to proceed with the work or not.
Well, we're getting close to start getting some warmer weather, and that's going to impact this building tremendously. So, we wanted to talk about this. Do we want to wait until we find out what the judge comment is? He's supposed to be looking to see if there's monies available to help us or either pay for it itself. I mean,
Correct.
for the entirety.
That's not gonna prevent the repair from having to be done. It's just a matter of
No.
whether we get any supplement to do it with or not.
And that's what I was gonna say. Do we want to wait? Did he give any kind of indication as to how long it might take him to make this decision?
He did not. I spoke with him last Thursday, and he was gonna look. So, if I haven't heard from him by Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, I'll probably give him a shout.
I'm thinking if we don't move to get it fixed now, we're gonna be another month out. getting it
Exactly.
fixed.
And then everybody's gonna
If
want
we
their
need to-
air conditioner fixed.
If we need to approve it or whatever, we need to do it, and then y'all just make that decision as you,
And
and get some
we
new
didn't
ones
have
this
it in our
time.
packet as far as the bid or the numbers, chief. What did you say the bid was? Around 6,000?
I can go print it off.
It's a little over
It's a
6,000.
little over 6,000. I think 6,200 is what it is.
So it's under our bid number.
That's right.
regulation.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say we,
Let's face it, if the judge comes back and says, we don't have any money, we're still gonna have to fix it.
yeah.
We're still gonna have to pick it up.
fix it.
I'm hoping that if the council saw fit, we would go ahead and approve that we were going to have it replaced. And then if the judge can come up with any money, that would be a reimbursement to us.
I think a better way to phrase it, we have money. I'm told that Danielle, this was from the reimbursement that we got from the indemnity money that we have. And actually, my conversation from Danielle is that she has too much money on her books. People are raising questions about that. She's not normally supposed to have a balance, but she has this that's in there that she needs something to do with. So I think that's what we're getting approval on. The money is we already have it. We just need permission to spend it on infrastructure.
So what would be the best way to go forward for the council tonight,
Well,
based on all of this, from a legal
They
standpoint?
could get an approval to spend it out of general revenue if not. If for some reason we can't use that money, then we need a backup plan to spend it out of general revenue.
Dustin, do we need a dollar amount for that?
It doesn't have to be bid. If the amount is,
Would
you
say
could
like
say
under
up to
$7,000?
That's what I was gonna say.
7,000 would be
Could you
fine,
put
yeah.
the maximum of 7,000
Yeah.
under? So that we can go ahead and get this before the council
I
tonight?
think so,
for-
yeah, instead of another
I make a
month.
motion to approve up to $7,000 for the repair of the
Replacement.
replacement of the air conditioning unit in the court.
second.
Is that going
Yeah,
to be?
that would be fine. Yeah,
Okay.
take it.
Would you mind calling the roll?
Jennifer Massey,
Yes.
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Paul,
Yes.
Kyle Martin.
Yes.
Thank you. We have no old business, is that correct? Okay, any reports? Any comments?
I'd like to
I'm sorry.
discuss this, Mayflower Police Department report here.
I'm sorry now?
I'd like to discuss this Mayflower Police, Department report.
Yes.
Yes, sir, what would you like to discuss?
The aggravated robbery, aggravated assault, things like that, is that going on mostly here in the city, or is that
This
out of?
this is all in the city. There's a note down there towards the bottom of it. We've responded to a total of 5 shootings within and just outside the Mayflower. We've only had 2 shootings here in Mayflower. But these instances are more than we've had in 4 years since I've been doing anything of investigative nature.
Well, I do want to say this, very much respect for you, for your diligence in solving this murder case out here on the freeway on-ramp. I think for the city of Mayflower to have such an upstanding chief that doesn't quit, I think that's very admirable of you, and I respect you very much as a councilman and as a friend. And I thank you for what you're doing, and keep it up.
Well, thank you. I can't take the full credit for this by a long shot. My detective and my new detective have worked many, many arduous hours on this, getting it put together. There was a lot of time involved, a lot of travel involved, and we pulled a lot of resources from outside the city that if we didn't have, wouldn't have been possible.
I just know that when I first became acquainted with you, it was reference of a person in town with drugs and child abuse case and all that kind of stuff. And I talked to the family at some point, and they spoke your praises very highly, that you didn't quit and you just kept on until you got it handled. So I'm just glad we got you as a chief. And
Well, thank you.
These arrests are showing that the work's being done. So
Well, the very bottom, I wanted to point out the overtime down there on some of this. A good portion of that is because of one of my officers that is down right now. And Thursday, he was actually put in the hospital. He's in ICU in critical condition, not doing very well at all.
from a work injury? Or
No, it's not a work injury. He's had some health issues.
Okay.
And, but he's been off for an extended period of time. And that has really caused a lack of shift coverage in times that we've had to make up for, accounting for some of those costs.
I understand. But we're a lot safer, and that I'm thankful for.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right. Going on through our agenda, next item, comments. Any comments?
I've actually got a question, Mayor. Do we have any
Yes.
update on the sewer
They,
repairs of this building?
Chief, do you want to? I was wondering when that was going to come up.
The repairs have been started. They're slowly taking place. The electrician got here the other day, and pulled the electric leads that they needed, to start the first portion that the, Faulkner Plumbing is going to do outside. So they do have the electrical infrastructure pulled. I have not heard from Faulkner Plumbing as to when they're going to be able to start their portion of it. But with this initial phase being done, I look for that to happen fairly quickly.
The foreman that was out here, I spoke with him, and they're going to try to move as quickly as possible. The good thing here is that all of the work will be here on the sidewalk, that they've got to bust up and then make the connection and then install the grinder pump just in that little green area. So my point is, say they're rained out someplace else and they can't get in there for a couple of days. They know once they start here, they've already got the disconnect on for the wiring, and all they'll have to do is just go ahead and do some busting up the concrete running their electrical, and then installing or once they make a connection to that sewer line going out to the manhole. So hopefully it won't take too long. And again, with what they're talking about, this foreman is the one that ran the video through our piping system, and he said they elected to do it there because that's where the dip is, and they think that that's going to solve the problem. But there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees. But hopefully that's going to take place really soon.
We were very fortunate on the electrical. They didn't have to do near what they thought they were gonna have to do because when they opened the panel up, there are so many open circuits in there that have breakers in them that aren't used.
Didn't have to put any kind of
So,
sub-panel in
Yeah, there's no
off of
sub-panel
that.
that had to be added. They didn't even have to add a breaker. They just had to run some conduit. So it went by pretty quick.
Good point. Anything else
Not
regarding
about
the?
that.
They'll be required to have a disconnect out there. Well, and wastewater department will have to inspect that to get that set up for, to start on the pump. They don't come with the pump. So once they get that in place, you get all the electrical checked out and everything ready to go, we'll get even started.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what they put in the other day was the power out there to the disconnect.
That was for what it was for. They have a disconnect there on the wall. Yes. We were talking about that, and I said, yes, you definitely got to have a disconnect.
Coming back in, once they get the station here to mount that control panel, E1 control panel.
I'm sure they will, but I don't know what their process is.
Yeah, I want to be on top of that so we can get that, get it scheduled, so when that is set, we can get everything hooked up, that we can have the pump here and ready to go.
Are we supplying the pump? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, no, that's part of the purchase of that station. It comes, but you have to do a startup on it before, so it, fall under the warranty.
Okay,
So they'll bring the pump, when that station's set and everything's ready to go, we'll let them know that, everything's ready to go, and we need to do a startup as soon as possible.
okay, so the city will have to do this startup, they will not?
Haney's Equipment will do the startup, I'll get in touch with them and get that, everything scheduled.
But is that through the contract that we have agreed to with Faulkner County? I'm sorry, Faulkner Plumbing? Okay, okay. This is not,
I'll get with Tony on that and make sure what his time schedule and when the electricity is scheduled to get that panel. But hopefully we can get it done in that same day or already have it mounted. I'd like to see it already mounted and the wiring run, once they get that, tank set.
okay. But what I just want to clarify, everything that you're talking about, that falls under the bid that Tony, we led, that we will not be out any other money. Okay, just wanted to make sure of that.
Part of the protocol of that particular
Okay.
station.
Good point. Thank you, Raymond. And would you mind contacting Tony and make sure that his foreman coordinates with you so that we don't, they're gonna be moving fast. And so I wanna make sure that they know that they've got to contact you before they get to a certain point. That we don't wanna lose any time.
No.
Yes. Yeah, if you could contact Tony, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you for bringing that up. Any other comments on the sewage situation? All right, thank you. Thank you, Chief. Don't look at me like that.
Don't go anywhere.
No, you can go sit down now. Under announcements.
I got one more question.
One more question, okay?
Where are we at on, the revamping and doing the planning commission? Where are we at on that?
We're going to be talking about that on our council workshop in detail in terms of, we were talking about setting up a new planning commission as well as forming our committees.
Advisory committee.
Yes, we need to, we've got to spend some time on that to make sure that we have the right people in the right place. And
I
make
feel like
some-
we need to put that is a priority, seeing where we're going as a city. I feel like we all need to put that as a priority.
No doubt, and that will be in 2 weeks, our next council. I don't have that sheet with me. Do you remember the date? April the 13th, 6 PM, April the 13th. Good point, but yes, there will be a lot of time dedicated to that, and I'm hoping we can finalize that structure so that we can move forward. Okay? Good point. Any other comments?
I have one.
Okay,
The RDOT project here, relocating that water main, still ain't heard anything on that.
Raymond, would you, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Would you mind explaining again where
Okay.
you're speaking of?
This north of the new overpass, they're widening that road right there for a turning lane, is my understanding. And there's a section of line that they want us to relocate, possibly. They didn't want us, I've heard that they don't want us to do an open trench there. They prefer us to bore that. There again, I talked with CWB today about the possibility of not even relocating it, just leaving it there. But if we do that, and if something happens to that line, then we're responsible for the damages of that part of that highway, you know. So I don't know which direction it's gonna wind up following. They've been procrastinating for quite some time on this project, and I was hoping to already have it done and completed.
But there's two things that, when Raymond came to me and we were talking about this, one, it's unheard of to me that they will not allow open ditch, open trench to put the new pipe in. Well, guess what? There's got to be an open trench to dig up the old pipe.
No, we'll just leave the old pipe there.
But I thought we just talked to you, I thought you just talked about if we leave it and
yeah.
then something happens,
Happens to it, yeah.
we're liable for that,
Right,
okay?
we would be.
So,
If we basically.
If there was any damages to that section of the highway or the shoulder there, then we're liable for making those repairs, hiring a contractor to come in and make those repairs.
That'd be cool.
If,
I guess so if we abandon that portion of pipeline, like we reroute it wherever they want us to route it, we abandon that portion of pipeline, what's the risk of leaving it there?
the risk of them, you know, at this point in time would be when they get ready to lay that asphalt, using a roller in there, a vibrating roller, or a foot machine, foot packer in there vibrating, could possibly snap that line. It's an AC line, transite. It's made out of asbestos. It's kind of like concrete, looks like concrete.
do we have any idea of the average depth of it?
Our depth on it in that area is about 2 feet deep.
So it's, if it was 4 feet, you know, that type of thing, maybe, probably wouldn't even consider it. But that's something we have to consider, because they've already laid it out to Raymond. Hey, if you leave it and something happens, the city is liable. Liable.
I know we don't have bids on it or whatever, but do you have a ballpark estimate what the relocate would be?
Well, if we could do an open trench, it's a little over $110,000. RDOT is only going to pay a small percentage of that because our utility is in that right of way. Our amount would be, I think it was right, a little over $93,000. If they'll let us do an open trench. If they make us do a bore, it's going to be about $250,000.
We're going to fight every way we can to go with an open trench. That is crazy.
I'm just, and maybe I'm way behind on this, but I'm just thinking we had relocates with this project from the beginning. We
Yeah.
did construction,
And
over $1 million to relocate
Mhm.
lines. Did we not know? Did they not know? that
no,
this line was in the project, or have
this
they
is
moved
something
the
they've
project?
added here towards the end of this project. It's putting a turning lane in there because it wasn't in anybody's plans whatsoever.
And that's what I'm asking. It's
Yeah.
like a change order they're making.
Yeah,
here at the end of the
it's a
day.
change order that they're making, But, us being in their right of way, we still have to bear that expense. Just like the other locates we had to do on down 365 there. We bared more of that expense than what they paid. But outside of the city limits or out here in the rural where the new highway is, that was most of their expense. I think they paid around 78, close to 80%. They're not quite there, but it was really close to 80%.
Have they given you a timetable?
No.
They
We can't even
still
get
are-
a timetable from these folks.
And how long have you been dealing with this?
We've been dealing, for about 2-3 months now.
That's what,
And they're just
this
dragging their
just,
feet.
this just didn't come up.
This project won't be finished by April. You won't be nowhere even close to
Well,
finished by April.
I got a call this afternoon from the RDOT. They are scheduling, wanted to make sure that I would be at the ribbon cutting at the end of May. They're opening that puppy up with all of the big wheels coming in. It's gonna be, they haven't given me the date, but she said it'd be the end of May. And when I talked with the head guy out here, he said they were going to be opening the overpass this time next month, which is April. And then he was saying, or it could be toward the middle, but the ramp.
Once they open that, then they have to demo the.
That's right, and
initial
then the
make that
ramp
flyby.
on
Yes.
the, adjacent to Exxon, it will take, they're saying, they're gonna tell everyone roughly a month, but he says they think that, provided the weather is going to be good, they're gonna be working day and night to get that in place,
And they've already got it both sides of the road.
both
It's
sides.
just-
It's just they've got to tear out the old, get compaction and, that type of thing. But he's saying that he's hoping that within 2.5 weeks, after they start on that, again, provided that the weather is going to be good, that they can open that part of it too.
I feel like there's gonna be loose ends carrying on for.
Oh,
a while
yes,
on this project.
yes.
And Jimmy Joe may be able to answer this, because I asked this question, 3 years ago. Once they finish it and they do the spur on Main Street with all the, and I know Jimmy Joe, that's your baby as well, with all the damage that they've done to Main Street, hauling that fill off of off their dig site back there and everything, do they have plans to help us resurface Main Street when this thing's over?
They're supposed to fix everything they tore up.
Because it's in terrible shape.
Oh, yeah. And they're supposed to be keeping it up while they're doing it. But yet I have to nudge them. To get them over there, they'll fix it. Yeah, there's fixing to be some more heavy traffic on that street.
Big time.
Once they get that
Hauling that
overpass
fill over
opened
there.
up, they'll be hauling dirt again.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but all the traffic that goes from your east side to the west side that's wanting to go back to Little Rock, you'll have to get off on Main Street, come down Main Street to 89, then 89 out. So that's why, when I was talking to them, we need them to expedite that
Yes, we do.
construction as soon as possible. But again, the weather is a big factor in this.
That's what I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of, is when they start filling that gap in there, 89 South is gonna be closed.
That's right.
There will be no access to 365 the way we're used to doing. They'll have to go over to the other side and get off on North Main to get back to 365, either through crossover two.
Even going north or south, yes. So it's going to be a mess. We all know how Main Street, that should be really a one-lane, a one-way traffic flow from that standpoint.
It is narrow.
It is. Any other comments? One last comment. Jimmy, I don't know if you know or not, but I've been down at Palorum Park twice today. They are prepared, they've prepped the west side of 365, the smaller parking lot. It will be resurfaced tomorrow. They are going to stripe that. They've already made sure they're going to do the striping as well. The striping or the west side parking area will be striped for vehicles, for cars as they call it. They had started prepping on the east side where the boat launch is, as we call it, today. The guys that were prepping it, they could not tell me if they were going to start tomorrow afternoon with it. you know, we've got 90-some-odd% chance of rain on Friday. So tomorrow's Wednesday. They know they're going to get finished with this on the west side, but they're not so sure if they're even going to start on the east side. He said that they wanted him to prep it just in case. So they're in there with their skid steer. They're digging out areas that were loose. You know, it's currently asphalt as well, but we got some major problems in there. So they were cleaning all that out, digging it out, and blowing all of that debris for up until.
See, I hadn't talked to them since Monday before last.
Right.
And they couldn't give me no time.
Right. Well, I've been going down there every day, and so when I went down this morning, RDOT was sitting there, the supervisor, and so he's the one that shared all of this with me. So I went back this afternoon to make sure. I don't want them to leave down there without them doing the big side, the ramp side. Also confirmed that they are not going down the ramp where they'll stop. They've already dug a trench where at the top part where the concrete meets the asphalt, where they can anchor that asphalt, and they will not go over on the concrete.
Don't need to. It's
No,
concrete,
it's
right?
bad enough with just coming up with concrete with how it's the ridges in there, and they were well aware of all that. So, but on the east side, it will not be striped for vehicles or for cars. It will be striped for boats. In other words, a vehicle that's pulling a boat or trailer. So it will be, you know, the entire parking areas there. It won't be for cars. It will be striped for boats.
Cars park there all the time.
Well, I understand, but it's going to be striped for.
Can they put a sign or?
Do what now? Yes, the bathroom up on the top of the ridge where you come in, it's gone. It's been eliminated. Also, the steps, nothing is there. They've got a little red type fence around it where they dug out. I was talking to the supervisor today, and I said, yes, we tried to get Army Corps of Engineers to let us have that building to maybe consider reopening it. And he said, well, because we didn't know what size septic tank. He said that the building, just as you and I talked about, the building was atrocious to tear down. That building didn't have any cracks in it or whatever. But the septic part was only 2.5 feet deep. It was a small type. That's right. And that's what Army Corps of Engineers, that's why they didn't want us to get back into that, because they would. That's right. So anyway, that's gone. So that's good news. And then next week I'm meeting with Entergy to get the lights changed out down there to go in with 1,000-watt DSLs, floodlights, so that we can look down the ramp through the parking lot to go up. We can do that with the existing poles, but to add a new pole, I've got to go through Army Corps of Engineers through a permitting process, and maybe if we put it in now, maybe they'll approve it by this time next year. But it is, anyway, we'll deal with what replacing on the existing poles and see, that's gonna make it much better. So that's a good thing for us. We didn't have to pay for any of this. So we got a benefit from it. So just wanted to announce that. Okay, moving on. Our next regular city council meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m. Tuesday, April the 25th. And then our next planning commission meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m. Tuesday, April the 11th. And our next council workshop meeting that we talked about a while ago is scheduled for 6 p.m. on April the 13th. Does that coincide with the dates that you had also, Barbara?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
I didn't think anybody was going to say no. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.